How is everyone?
Good.
Great. So I'm Brandon Schofield. It's English, like school. Schofield. So the purpose of my speech today is to formally introduce myself, identify a few things that drew me to Toastmasters, and outline a few things that I'd like to improve while a member here. So ultimately, I would love to not put you to sleep today. So please don't sleep. Speaking of sleep, before I get into my introduction, I believe one of the reasons I'm here is a short experience I had at my last command. I was in an artillery regiment, and on duty one day, I came up with a great idea to use a tethered drone, like a drone with a power source on the ground, to observe targets at a distance. My colonel was all about this technology. He's like, I want you to present in front of the regiment. I'm like, great. I got up a presentation. You know, the day of the presentation, it's going great. I'm giving my presentation to a bunch of artillery guys. Mind you, I'm a logistics officer giving a speech about an artillery capability to a bunch of artillerymen. So I thought it was a great idea. But as I was going along, I look over and I'm trying to stay engaged. And there's my colonel sleeping. And there's my XO sleeping. And I think it's that very moment where I'm like, maybe I need to reevaluate how I'm giving my presentation, how I'm public speaking in general. Maybe subconsciously, I like when people sleep during my presentations. Maybe I take solace in the fact that I'm essentially speaking to myself. Maybe it comforts me. I don't know. But to formally introduce myself, I was born in Marinette, Wisconsin, raised in Melbourne, Florida on the East Coast there, Atlantic. I'm captain of the United States Marine Corps. I'm a logistics officer. Been in for 14 years. I started as an enlisted Marine truck driver. I went to the University of Florida, go Gators, mechanical engineering there. I graduated in 2010. Upon graduation, I was commissioned as second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. I've done 2 fleet tours, one at the Marine Logistics Group and one at the artillery regiment that I spoke about. I've served in Iraq 7 months and Afghanistan for a whole year. Current status, I'm here at MPS. I am studying IT management and I'm getting a degree in MBA as well. Marital status, my partnership is my wife Claire. She is a lieutenant in the Navy. She's a healthcare administrator. She is still stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. We have no kids, dual income, no kids. She's about to go to Quantico, and we're building a house in Quantico, Virginia right now, so we're excited about that. Some of my hobbies include hiking, running, working out, DIY projects. I'm also a professional drone pilot. I got my license with the FAA at my last station. I did some work for a bunch of realtors in the area. I haven't done that much out here because there's too many airports and you're not allowed to fly in a lot of places. But I also enjoy reading, boating, fishing, and surfing. So now let me transition a little bit and talk about what brought me to Toastmasters. So I think it was Club Day last year, and I'm walking around and I saw the sign for Toastmasters. I walked over and Carl eloquently told me what Toastmasters was, and I kind of had an idea. I went home and I'm like, my wife was visiting me at the time, and I'm like, hey, there's Toastmasters kind of thing, and I'm thinking about joining. Is it like a drinking club? Like, because in the Marine Corps, when you give a toast, you give a toast and you give an eloquent something after that toast. And as a Marine, I'm I kind of associate those things. But now she's like, no, I think it's a leadership organization, a public speaking organization. And I'm like, well, that sounds like something I need because I don't want to put any of you to sleep. But really, why I'm here, I've never really been content with the status quo. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings, so being the youngest, you kind of always have to pull your weight and try to strive to be the best. But my father was also kind of a workaholic, so I kind of aspire to do the best I can. But only recently, through some cognitive behavioral therapy and self-discovery, and my wife's soothing perspective, have I settled down a bit and been able to be content with still working hard but finding time to relax. In a lot of ways, I've come to understand that relaxation can actually make you more productive at your goals. So Toastmasters, which is not something that I would normally do, I believe can help me achieve some of these goals, namely being able to public speak and not putting my audience to sleep. And it provides a relaxing atmosphere where we can do this. And what do I want to get from being a member here? So really, I just want to progress in my ability to be an interesting public speaker, not put you all to sleep, as I've mentioned numerous times, increase my ability to convey difficult topics to an audience in an interactive way, increase my connections with the audience, and of course, I want to have fun while doing all this. So in conclusion, the purpose of my speech today was to formally introduce myself, identify a few things that drew me to Toastmasters, and outline a few things that I would like to improve while a member here. Thank you for your time.
Today, Brandon delivered the icebreaker speech. He's working in Pathways in the Innovative Planning path. But the icebreaker speech for all of the paths is the same. It has the same purpose, the same goal. And that's for the member to deliver a speech and discover what strengths they have and what areas the member would like to work on. Very similar to the prior education program. And Brandon was successful. He got up here, he spoke. For those of you who haven't delivered your icebreaker speech, it's just that simple. Brandon gave us an excellent icebreaker speech in many ways. First, he actually provided the Toastmaster of the day with a cogent and proper introduction so that she was able to bring him up here and tell us a little bit about his speech. And for everybody, whether you are new and seeking a mentor, or whether you are a mentor and you've been around for 19 or 20 years, 40 or 50 years, it's always good to give the Toastmaster of the day that help in crafting an introduction for you. And Monique actually provided an introduction to me, so she was a good role model for that herself. In addition, he had a theme for his speech that revolved around sleep, because he related to us an experience he had where his leaders fell asleep while he was giving a prepared speech. Now, I was all ready to volunteer to be Brandon's mentor and to form a partnership with him when he told me he was in an artillery regiment. Because I've genuflected to Blockhouse Signal Mountain, and anyone who's an artilleryman knows exactly what that means. And then I learned he was a logistician. Now, I can forgive him for that because I actually commanded a service battery, which is a logistics unit in an artillery battalion. Brandon also provided us with many marvelous details about himself. He had lists, and they were well prepared, they were cogent, they revealed things about him, and he punctuated that with his gestures as he was giving them to him. I thought that was an effective use of gestures. He also used humor, self-deprecating humor, and didn't take himself too seriously when he was up here. I thought that was also an effective way to introduce himself to the audience. There are some areas I think you could improve, Brandon. One of them is in the introduction. It's not good technique to walk up and just say, hi. If you have a rhetorical question, craft a rhetorical question like, who here is sleeping? Or, to sleep, perchance to dream, quote Shakespeare, or something like that. Another area that I think you can improve in, you had great structure for your speech, and connecting that opening to your closing, and you did have a strong closing where you summarized, I think would be more effective. And in terms of stretching yourself, less use of your notes as you move along. But overall, excellent speech. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.